Yes, I know
That's
exactly what you're talking about.
that's how I'm doing.
Yeah,
You
no,
know what?
again,
You know what
that's
Bilbo
fine.
says?
He's been spread too thin, like too little
Ah,
butter
man,
on
I
too
didn't
much
even have
toast.
to say the thing about the butter. Good job.
Yeah, no, one of my best friends is a huge Lord of the Rings nerd. If I didn't know that quote, I would have had so much shit from her.
Yeah, this is the thing that I want to just do and not like worry about some kind of business plan. If that's a crude way to put it, but like
Yeah, no, like
this is like
if we got lucky and we got big all of a sudden,
sure.
I wouldn't be upset by that. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But that's not the goal. The goal is I'm hanging out with a buddy of mine watching a show that I like watching and we're just chatting about it. Like there's no stress on that. And if that changes, I think we've both lost our direction.
Okay, good. No, because that's I mean that's like that's exactly it. With all the other stuff I'm doing, like I want to be able to just make something and not and just do and that's it. Period.
Yeah. And I do that with my cross stitching. So
Yeah.
why would you do that with your podcasting, I do it with my cross stitching. You need a creative outlet that's just yours and just fun.
I got a bunch of primed I got to get a little easel. I got a bunch of primed canvases and I would like to bust out the paints
Do it. You
someday.
should do that. I can't art, but like I honestly I love it when people get really into it, and I think if it's something you want to get back into, you should.
Art is so easy, Toronto.
I am not a creative person. I am
You don't
very
have
good
to
at copy.
be.
I'm really good at copying. You give me something and I will
Sure.
copy it very well, but I can't come up with original content of my own. Be it like art, original music, nothing. I'm bad at coming up with my own stuff, but I am very good at taking a pattern or something that somebody else has made and copying it.
Most art is just something that somebody copied and then put a different color paint on, in my experience.
Fair enough. Yeah.
so
So
so the conscience of the king Saint told me it has to do with Shakespeare, but I do not remember seeing this episode at all ever right now.
it's the an actor suspected of having been a mass murderer
Oh,
episode.
okay. Yeah. And he told me something like they act out the play, but in the play they somehow incriminate the murderer. I don't know. I that might not be exactly what.
I vaguely feel like I remember this episode, but I need to see it to get the specifics of it.
Oh well, we're gonna watch it.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm saying like it's a from the preamble aspect. The episode description sounded very familiar. I think
Yeah,
I know this episode. And I think they like the guy like was doing the Shakespeare thing like a fairly heavy handedly throughout the
probably.
episode.
Yeah,
But this is one I would have seen as a rerun on TV. Like this is so long ago, you know?
yeah. I feel like yeah. If I saw this one ever, it was like when I was a child, so I might get weird flashbacks.
Yeah,
Or every now and then I get weird flashbacks watching this shit.
there's so many of them. Like, what was it? The I think it was the Man Trap. I was like, no, I don't remember this at all. And we watched it, and I'm like, there's no way I could have forgotten this episode. Like, there's been a lot of that so far for me.
Man, I want to do a. I'm gonna do either an episode or a short series talking about the films and TV that I watched like over and over again in my grandparents' basement. You ever want to watch some Twilight Zone and review it?
I'm not sure about review, but definitely I'd be down to watch it.
Okay.
There's a bunch of episodes that like just cultural zeitgeist and stuff.
Yeah.
For example, we talked about it before, the Gremlin on the wing type stuff.
Yeah,
Like
Lithgow and
this,
Shatner.
yeah. There's been a few episodes of there that I know have been what's the word, like parodied a
Oh yeah.
lot,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it's stuff like that. Like I want to see them be able to. Like, I like to see it personally before I have that. Like, this is the only thing I know about this thing, you know. So
I'll tell you what, yeah, and one of those, just like how there's two versions of the Shatner Lithgow Gremlin,
mhm.
there's two versions of the story that I told you. Charlie X is almost the exact same
Oh yeah,
story as, and Yeah, remember the faceless nurse?
Yeah, yeah.
There's a faceless girl in the Twilight Zone movie that like yeah, really what this series of things I saw in my grandparents' basement is going to be the earliest things that scared the shit out of me so bad that I
So
remember them to
X-Files.
this day. Yeah. Uh boy, the faceless girl in the Twilight Zone movie, like I can picture that. I mean, that was in my nightmares. I mean, it's still forever. It still is.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I've
So
been rewatching.
it
I've
definitely
been
but it,
rewatching through the TV, and like Skinner's on a bunch of older shows too, right? Like I keep seeing it be like I
oh,
should rewatch through the X-Files.
Skinner the character from
X-Files, the guy I don't remember his name, the actor's name, but the
yeah,
guy who
that
played
actor is on other shows?
he's on a lot. Did you watch Supernatural, right?
No, but we talk about it all the time.
Okay, that's why I assumed
I've
you'd
never
seen
seen it. Should I just start? It's like
We can
1,000
watch-
seasons, right?
It's only 15 seasons.
Only 15.
We're watching Star Trek. You can't be like
Are there 15 seasons? Okay.
there's way more than 15 seasons of Star
yeah,
Trek, but
but like, but for one show, 15 seasons is a lot.
yeah, no, I've watched through all of Supernatural up to season 12.
Okay.
And I'm not giving spoilers because if this is something you actually want to watch, then I don't want this to be spoiled for
I
you.
could watch it. Yeah, I could watch it.
But there was at the start of season 12, end of season 11, there was a move by the showrunners where they brought a character to life that should not have been brought back from the dead, in my opinion.
Okay, I mean, that's
And-
usually frowned upon.
Yeah, well,
as
this
far
is-
as storytelling is concerned.
this show has somebody coming back to life every few years, so like it's
Okay.
really not that surprising.
Sure.
But it was the way it was handled was, in my opinion, a bit on the poor side. I didn't like that this specific character came back. I felt like it was a waste. And on top of that, up to that point, the show had been like already jumping that shark for me. You know, like it had already season 10 they killed off a character that I didn't think should have died. The show was only written, from what I could tell, with 5 seasons in mind, and then they kept going.
Right.
So they were trying to do Monster of the Week and overarching seasonal stories, but then each season is its own complete story. There was no continuation from season to season anymore. It was done. You know what I mean? It was one season shows over and over again, and it didn't hold up after season 5 really. So by 12 I was like, you know what, I've watched a lot of this and this is a stupid reveal, I'm not doing it, and I stopped watching. Yeah, Skinner's in it. He plays
Oh.
Sam and Dean, which are the two main characters. He plays their grandfather.
Okay. Wow. Do either
Yeah.
of those situations, what you said in between season 11 and 12, or the thing that happens in season 10, have to do with someone named Castiel?
No.
Oh, okay. That's a guy though, right?
So Castiel's in.
This is like the only thing I know about.
Yeah,
Well,
no worries.
the only thing I know is that I've seen people get upset about something involving a guy named Castiel.
So Castiel is an angel, and I think it was season 2 that he got introduced, but I can't remember for sure now. And he basically comes down from heaven, and he possesses the body of a willing servant of God. So just some guy who was willingly accepting an angel into him, because they can't. Forced possession is a demon thing, so the angels can't do that kind of thing.
Oh, sure.
And then he ends up tooling around with the guys. And from like he plays the super powerful, like stupidly overpowered dude, but he knows nothing about human life. So like at one point there's one of the more famous clips of him that gets shared around, in my opinion, is him at one of the motels, because the guy's always doing, you know, credit card scans and staying at motels. And he's watching the TV when the guys come in, and he's talking about what he's watching, and you can hear the moaning because he's just watching pay-per-view porn.
Okay.
But he's like, a pizza man just showed up to help this poor woman out with her plumbing problem, and
okay.
and because he's so innocent, he has no idea. And I can see where they were trying to go with it. I never liked him. I always felt it was like he's got moments that he's pretty solid, but like as an overall character, I didn't enjoy the character because I felt like it was too much of almost like a self-insert. Like, oh, we want to put in something really cool and badass and awesome. Let's put in this cardboard cutout. Go. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And and he gets better as the show goes. He's not as much of a cardboard cutout as the show progresses, but it came off negative, like wrong in my opinion when he first came out, and just never sat right, you know?
Okay.
But yeah, no, Supernatural I'd watch with you too. Like, it's a fun little show. It's especially the earlier seasons. Like, it's really good out the gate. They go for a lot more horror in the earlier seasons, and then as they progress, it becomes less horror, more just silly, but still fun. It becomes more of, instead of it being a horror show, it becomes a thriller as the show goes on. You know?
Yeah. More tension.
Like a thriller comedy. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's fun. It's got moments. One of the big things that you have to bear in mind is there's a lot of bromancing, but the way that bromancing is written, there's a huge fandom that thinks that the brothers should be hooking up because they were written almost like lovers.
Are they biologically?
Yeah, they are brothers.
Well, that's strange.
You'll see what I mean. Like, there's just the tension between the guys. It comes off almost romantic sometimes rather than.
Oh no! I honestly, actually, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a fun little show. It's not great. The early seasons are pretty good, but it's like by the late seasons, it's not. I don't think it's nearly as good as the fandom seems to think it is. But I enjoy it. You know, it's still fun.
Sure. What can you tell me anything else about The Conscience of the King?
I can tell you anything about The Conscience of the King.
Let's begin then.
All right, so The Conscience of the King is the 13th episode in our viewing order. It was directed by Gerd Oswald, not Gerald. Gerd Oswald.
Gerd.
Yeah, Gerd.
Yeah.
And it was written by Barry. I think it's Trivers or Trivers, Trivers, with my apologies on pronunciation.
Sorry, Gary.
Barry. It originally aired December 8th of 1966.
Closing out 1966 pretty soon.
Yeah, no, just one or two more episodes in that year and then we're done. And that's it. Yeah, that's our major stats. So IMDb has given it a 7.1 out of 10. Which isn't a great rating, but I don't know. I think what I remember of the episode, I think it was pretty good. I think it was okay.
Yeah, I'm a complete blank on this one, so yeah, Shakespeare in space and murderers and actors and other types of lying and trickery and ancient secrets exposed, I expect.
Dun dun dun!
Hello, and welcome back to The Least Ready Room, a podcast where we are going to watch every episode of Star Trek until the collapse of society, culture, the internet, whatever ends up collapsing that leads to this show not being made, or we'll just do it. Yeah, eventually this show will have to come to an end. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe we will pass it on to our children, which one person involved with the show has one of. But barring the collapse of culture and or the electrical grid, the internet, myself, I'm Dave, Chris, and Saint, and this is the one with Thrash. Thrash is here, and our friend Weebs, and usually whoever is around and wants to talk about Star Trek, we're going to watch the whole thing. We're just starting from the beginning, we're going to watch the whole thing. And, and honestly, culture might not have to collapse, because it sounds silly. It seems like right now there's no way that people are not going to be totally into Star Wars and Star Trek. Like, I feel like those things are here forever now. But, we are living in a very, like fast-paced for entertainment media. And I use the word disposable or not. I don't mean to, I don't want to yuck anyone's yum. A lot of people, I hear a lot of people saying that, because maybe that's good, though. That's you don't want to yuck things. I'm glad that people seem to at least, not want to shit on things that people like. But it seems we are in a very hyper media, just major franchises are coming out with 3 or 4 big major properties a year at this point. It seems like it will become more and more impossible to watch all of Star Trek. It's going to become we're going to hit like a Star Trek critical mass where so much Star Trek and Star Wars and the MCU and stuff, like all of these big major franchises are hitting the same point where so much is coming out and being produced that it will become impossible to watch all of it, especially when you're starting in 1966. But I really, but I mean, who knows? Who knows what is going to happen? Who knows what? I think we all are. I mean, listen, the past is far behind us and the future does not exist. So we really shouldn't put too much. Wow, I mean, I guess, is that irresponsible to say? We shouldn't put too much thought or energy into the future. I mean, we should, I mean, I think that's really, something about being aware of the consequences of your actions is what I'm trying to say. That's a good thing, right? But anyway, I'm trying to talk about Star Trek. I don't know. Now I have no idea. All of the things that I just said, I'm sure they line up somewhere. But where I was getting, and I didn't quite, I laid out everything, and I don't know how to put it together because now I don't remember what I said. But it's possible. It's possible that Star Trek will stop happening. It stopped happening for a decade. That doesn't sound that long. 2 times? That's a little bit, it's been broken up. So who knows what's going to happen right now if we watch every episode of Star Trek at the rate we've been going. And there might be a fault in this math. There might be a fault in what I'm about to say, because I was about to say, I think if Star Trek were to come to an end today, the media being produced, we've got 17 years ahead of us of doing this podcast and watching episodes of Star Trek. But I think that math is based on watching 2 a week, which we were doing, which is good for me because now I have stockpiled recordings to edit and to keep putting, and I know I can put this out every week even if I miss a recording session for some reason, like I did today when I slept all day. My stream isn't even live right now. Like I'm recovering from, doing all this shit that I love to do. I'm recovering from my life, which I'm enjoying a little bit. So that's great. So we're going to talk to Thrash this time. Oh yeah, but all right. Sorry. We'll wrap up all of those thoughts that really might not seem like they have anything to do with themselves. But what I was saying is that I'm pretty sure, because this podcast comes out once a week and focuses on 1 episode, and that might not always be true. I believe when we do TAS, one episode will probably be 2 episodes of the show. I don't know. We'll see. But, I think that I may be incorrect, but it might be that we are looking at 34 years. I don't know if that's a reasonable thing to try to do. We'll see what happens. Welcome back to The Least Ready Room, a podcast where we are going to watch an episode of Star Trek a week and talk about it forever. Thank you for being here. This is the Conscience of the King. Thrash is here. We're going to talk to Thrash and Saint, I believe. Weebs may have been there. I think this might have been just... I'm always never sure if Weebs is there, but thank you so much, Weebs, for being on this podcast and being here as often as you are. I know that there was a Friday that he wasn't there recently, so this might have been it. Anyway, let's talk to Saint and Thrash and maybe Weebs and me first, and then we will break the episode down with Chris. And, welcome to Star Trek.
I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have by the very cunning of the scene been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. For murder, though it hath no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I'll observe his looks, I'll tempt him to the quick. If but a blanch, I'll know my course. The spirit that I have seen may be the devil, and the devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape. Yea, and perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy, as he is very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play is the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
And
That's from Hamlet.
I was gonna say freaking Hamlet, dude. That was pretty solid. That was well read. Well read.
And
I felt that. That was some Kenneth Brown.
I love it. Yeah, I love Shakespeare and I love Hamlet. And
Heck yeah, dude.
this is like the first like intersection of Shakespeare and Star Trek. I think.
I love it.
probably.
Very explicit as opposed to
unless
maybe-
very
maybe-
unexplicit.
Yeah, unless there's like some subtext in some other one where they're like, oh, this is really sort of a Henry IV thing or something that I'm not aware of.
But nothing like that has jumped out yet. I don't think.
Yeah, but this is straight up. This episode of Star Trek is straight up that subplot from Hamlet where Hamlet is like, I am not sure if my uncle murdered my dad. I think he did, but I received this information from a ghost, which is not really, that wouldn't hold up in a court of law.
Is there a ghost? Is
So-
there a ghost in the Lion King, or is the ghost like Nala?
I forget.
Okay, that's sorry.
Well, I mean, in the Lion King, he's like, he knows that
Yeah.
that Scar
Yeah,
killed
he
his dad.
just straight up knows. Yeah,
He just like Scar.
Mufasa.
Yeah, Scar's not real secret about the fact that he killed Mufasa,
No, not at all.
as
it's a little
opposed to
bit of a
Claudia.
simpler version.
Yeah, as opposed to Claudius, who is
Claudius.
trying to play it off. Yeah, another Claudius.
Yeah, there's always a Claudius. The very sinister men, all Claudiuses.
Claudia, yeah. So that speech was him, describing how he's going to get these actors to put on a play in front of his uncle, the king, and it's gonna describe. He's gonna have these guys do a play that looks just like the murder as was described to him by the ghost,
Yep.
and he's gonna see how his uncle reacts to that.
Right
So.
on.
He's going to
That is-
scrutinize his expressions during
Yeah.
the performance.
Yeah, and that is also the plot of this Star Trek episode.
Yeah, this one's wacky, very grim.
Yeah, but really good. This one's really good.
Yeah, this is
I'm about it.
this one gets high marks for sure. Yeah. Shall we take a look at it then?
Let's go.
All right.
Woo.
Immediately dramatic. Yes.
I think it's that. Another more Shakespeare.
Kalima. That was something up.
Yeah,
That's some Shakespeare shit. Look, there it is. Yeah.
yeah, Arnold Moss.
The Forest Kelly as Dr. McCoy. I met Walter Koenig. That was cool.
That is cool. He's still not on the show yet at this point.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which
really?
episode he shows up? Yeah, but he's not on the show yet.
Oh. You know what? I didn't even think about it.
He's not on. He is not on until at least season 2.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. The
Maybe even episode 1, season 2, but season 2.
the tactical position is held by a rotating succession of bozos.
Yeah. Including whoever that was that gave it up to hang out with Baylock.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was solid. I gotta say,
Oh yeah, I love that one. It's
like,
yeah, and it's like you said, Kuya, it's not even real science fiction really.
Yeah, that could have happened in
It's
a theater, involving a
Mhm.
pistol.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
and like a bomb in the
Right.
or something instead of a phaser
In the
or
dressing
whatever.
room, yeah. But
Yeah.
very high tension, very high drama, and yeah, it's really. Do you think it's just like? Do you think it's just? And I feel like I guess I say this just about every week, but is it a '60s? Is it just a '60s TV thing that you put a mustache on a man and people can't be sure if it's the same man?
I don't know. Maybe
Because
it's
they
a
really.
thing. It's
But-
really it's a bit of a trope, and I mean, I guess because like we're joking, like he puts those two pictures up next to each other, and we're like, "Yup, that's the exact same dude."
But maybe Kirk. I think Kirk just knows the whole time, and he's just playing it real close to the chest and trying to slip
Yeah,
into
No,
this
and-
guy's panties.
and that's the thing. He knows. Everybody knows.
Everyone knows. That's just what it is.
Everyone knows. Everyone knows at
And
all
Spock
times.
is like, wait a minute. Why are you all acting like you don't know? That's why.
Yeah.
That's what's getting to Spock.
yeah, Spock is
It's the same guy
he's-
in the picture. Spock's
Yeah.
flabbergasted.
Kirk. Yeah, exactly. Kirk is like, I can't be 100% sure, and Spock is like, it's definitely him.
Have
I
you
don't
seen
know
these
what it is."
photographs?
I was honestly
Like, just
waiting for
do
a
the
moment.
voice print thing, man. Just do the voice print. Let's get this over with.
I was honestly waiting for like them to like convene a group of like the high-ranking officers, and they're going, oh yeah, that's the same person, and then Kirk's like, well, I'm not entirely certain.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden they just get like the assembly just gets bigger and bigger until you just have an entire chorus of people yelling yes at him.
And I
then
wonder.
I'm not-
Part of it is too is like maybe I'm just like making up some headcanon here, but I
Maybe.
wonder if it's like he doesn't want to be sure because he doesn't want to confront that part of his past anymore.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
Yeah.
when Leighton is telling him like it's Kodos is alive, he's like, no, he is not. That dude is dead. I don't want to talk about this.
Yeah,
I'm out
I
of here.
put this behind me.
Yeah.
Don't
He's like,
drag me into this. I thought we all agreed that we didn't have to talk about this anymore. I have been in that. I felt like that.
Yeah.
Not about a mass murder,
Yeah, exactly. Not about a horrific mass murder,
but
but
but yeah, that's
about stuff. Yeah,
I can get behind that feeling. Yeah.
yeah. So I guess that's part of it. Is he does not want to be pulled back into it, and when it becomes obvious that he has to, he just wants to be as cautious as anything.
Yeah.
He's like, he looks at this dude and he's like, dude, this really could be Kodos, but he doesn't want it to be Kodos. He wants Kodos to be that burned corpse from 20 years ago, and he doesn't want this to be real because he doesn't want to have to think about it like that.
Yeah, this is already over in my head. My version
Yeah.
of this story
Yeah, and
is very concrete to me.
And I have to dredge all that up, and I have to relive all of that by dealing with this motherfucker again.
Man, poor Kirk.
Who I thought has been dead for 20 years.
What a strong, stoic, and all around competent starship captain.
Mhm.
James T. Kirk in this particular episode.
Well, he falls for the girl,
Kinda.
kind of. But it turns out he didn't see that she was the murdering
He
psycho
did
the whole
not.
time.
He did not notice. Yeah, he didn't figure that one out. So he doesn't get full marks.
Yeah. But he didn't figure out that Kodos wasn't the one doing all of the attempted murders. That Kodos was just like, oh my god, I'm so tired, and I have early stage Alzheimer's. Apparently,
Yeah.
I can't remember so much of what happened,
Oh,
except I know it's terrible.
And I cannot keep myself from performing. At heart, I
Yeah.
am an actor.
Wants to be in front of people.
Yes.
Um,
Really unfortunate turn of behavior for a warlord in hiding. Not a warlord even. Which is,
Yeah.
I keep thinking it seems like a war crime what he's done,
Yeah.
but really he was just very flippant.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was like some kind of like internal
There was some shit going on. You ever see The Mist?
unrest. There was like a revolution. I guess it was like 8,000 people, so it's
Right.
big enough to have a relatively large society, and like a cadre of people were like, "We're taking over. This is the revolution. We're gonna kill half the population of the colony to save everybody else."
Yep.
You know,
Ugh.
Thanos shit.
Thanos.
That's some Thanos shit.
It's Light Turner shit.
Yeah.
We're gonna kill all the bad people to save the good people, and I'm gonna decide who the bad people are.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like for Kodos there was an application even. He just decided. Probably had some dice.
Yeah, they probably were like, you look old, you're sick, you don't know shit, you're a dumbass,
Somebody get me a bunch of straws.
you're too fat, whatever. I'm sure you had some criteria. You are not ideologically pure enough.
Yeah,
Sure.
probably. Yeah.
High on the
That's
list of criteria.
that's usually how it ends up shaking out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually.
That's a very popular one.
Yeah.
Sharing my ideology, you get to live. That's one of the first ones that you go for.
Yeah.
That one gets picked first. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
so super grim this episode.
yeah,
man.
really incredibly. Yeah. And his daughter becomes a murderer due to his crimes, and then she murders him. And like I said during the episode, his ghost canonically haunts the
Enterprise
1701. Yeah.
Yeah. Good thing that one got blown up.
Do you remember? Do you know how there's a guy in one of the nacelles of the Enterprise D?
There's a guy?
There's yeah, boy. I mean, and really, I shouldn't, because I really don't know. But like when it was being built, like a guy got vaporized, and like his spirit is like in there, and it causes trouble. There's an episode where like a part of his like memory or soul or something
Oh my god, no.
gets into the computer or something because he was.
Enterprise has a haunted warp
Yeah,
nacelle.
he was vaporized in the nacelle, like when it powered on or something. No,
And,
he
like-
like calls to someone, there's someone like he's got like whatever not the
I
warp
like
core,
how
but he's
they-
like,
I like how they make a pseudoscience explanation
yeah,
for
but
a ghost.
basically another guy gets drawn to the same place and like either also gets vaporized or like he's like doing a siren song, luring
Gets
people
possessed.
like inside the nacelle.
Oh my god, no.
I should figure out what episode that is. I bet
You
it's
know what?
late.
You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of Alistair Reynolds. Have you ever read any Alistair Reynolds novels?
I'm not.
No.
He
It
wrote
sounds
this-
familiar. I almost want to say maybe, but
He's most famous for a series that is sometimes called Inhibitor Space and sometimes called Revelation Space after the first book in the series.
yeah, I think no. I don't think I know
And
about
it
that.
is-
Yeah.
It is
None.
absolutely one of my favorite sci-fi series of all time.
Are there vampires?
No, they're no
Oh,
vampires.
okay.
It is hard sci-fi, no FTL,
Oh, okay. Okay.
but still interstellar.
Okay.
So they have these, human beings travel between stars on these ships they call light huggers because they go up to about 99% of the speed of light.
Okay.
And they're just like 4 or 5 kilometer long needles, or like sort of like a skyscraper, sort of
Sure.
like turned on its side. And they like cover the front in ice, like a kilometer thick shell of ice,
Mhm.
so that when they hit, hydrogen atoms or whatever flying through space, they don't get vaporized. The ice takes the impacts, and
Oh, okay.
they have like warp nacelles. The engines are super science engines built by a faction called Conjoiners. They're like a bunch of humans who have networked their minds together to become super intelligent hive minds. So they build these engines that apparently pull power and reaction mass from nowhere, from
nowhere.
from like another dimension or something
Okay.
like that. And
You shouldn't.
blast-
That's usually a bad idea.
and like blasts out huge amounts of energy
Yeah.
to push a ship up to light speed. Um, so it still takes a long time to get anywhere, but it's
Yeah.
like if you fly from like Earth to Alpha Centauri, like from the point of view of everybody on Earth and Alpha Centauri, it takes you 5 years to get from Earth to Alpha Centauri. But from your point of view, because you're traveling so fast, it only a year passes for you. So
Right,
but
okay,
still,
yeah.
they start traveling like 20 and 30 and 40 light years away. So they have all these ships that are like flying alone in the dark for like 5 and 10 and 20 years at a time. And people go into hibernation, and they have like the people who fly these ships are called ultronauts, and they're all like they replace all their body parts with like cybernetics, and they're all fucking like weird, and I don't know. It's a really cool series. There's a lot of really cool ideas. There's like a computer built into a neutron star. There's like all kinds of weird aliens. Like really, there's like when they encounter aliens, it's like usually they're just encountering like remnants of aliens from millions of years ago.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And
That's
they're
a real
really,
like cosmic horror type of universe.
yeah, it's a real cosmic horror, hard sci-fi universe, and I love it. It's so fucking good. I highly recommend it.
Cool. Alistair, what? I'm writing it down.
Alistair Reynolds,
Cool.
Revelation Space.
I'll see what they got at the old library.
Yeah.
Revelation Space. Hey, Thrash.
Yes.
How much TOS would you say that you've seen in general?
In general,
Just yeah, sort of. How familiar are you with the original series?
I would say mildly. I would say most of my exposure was back when I was really really young. I was
same.
probably like 5
Yeah.
years old watching like
Okay.
my dad would let me stay up and watch a couple episodes.
Sure. All
But,
right, yeah.
But as far as the as of recently, I actually haven't repicked up the series. I watched a lot of TNG.
Yeah.
But TOS, I only watched. I ended up actually catching a VHS of Patterns of Force on from like a thrift store or something like that.
Patterns of
And-
Force.
If I remember the title correct,
Yeah,
that was
I remember
the-
that title, but I don't remember the episode. Now I'm curious.
it was the Nazi episode.
Oh.
Oh yeah, the Nazi, World
Planet.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
What-
it was so good. Oh my god.
that is a good.
Oh
one.
my god. Like the fact that the guy just, why would you even it doesn't matter about the economic development, why would you even consider using that economy style? That's so what the fuck.
The only episode of Star Trek not aired in Germany.
Oh.
Oh, Oh really? Oh yes,
Well,
because they do have those
You're-
monsters.
You are not allowed to depict swastikas in Germany. And also somebody says at some point, I think it's the villain. It's the villain who's saying it, but it's still, he says like Nazi Germany was the most efficient society
Yep.
ever created.
That's right.
And the Germans were like, nope, we're not putting that on TV.
Yeah, we've. Jesus.
They're like, yeah, we have.
It was
Wow.
It was
yeah,
a brutal episode.
yeah. I remember that episode, of course, because it's
Yeah, that's a classic.
the Nazi
Mhm.
planets.
Again, I was just shocked. I found it just at a random thrift store on VHS.
That's a great thing to have on VHS. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, unfortunately, my ex roommate stole most of my VHSs, so I don't have it anymore. But
That's too bad.
yeah,
I mean,
so it
do
goes.
you even have a working VHS player anymore?
Oh no, unfortunately not. I mean, actually, no, I do. I just haven't used.
It's probably like a box somewhere, right?
Yeah, I moved just within the past 6 months, and it's in a box somewhere that I gotta dig out.
Honestly, if you said I moved 5 years ago, but it's still in a box,
Yeah.
that tracks.
Yeah, no, I gotta dig around somewhere. It's around, but
Whoa.
I can only hope. I just don't know if I have the
Connectors. Yeah.
the red, yellow,
RCA.
whites. Yeah,
Yeah.
RCA's. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta go
Yeah.
down to the Goodwill and see if I can get myself a video cassette recorder.
Wow.
That's fun. What are you gonna like really runs off of cassettes or like are you
Well, I
trying
mean,
like
I just mean a VHS player, a VCR.
oh you're looking for I thought
I
you were
just-
talking about
yeah.
camcorder. I'm like I was gonna say I don't even know if they still make the blanks for those.
Yeah. It might even be hard to get VCRs nowadays, but hey, I don't know.
I got one. I got one at the Goodwill. Yeah, even 5 years ago is probably a much different market for VCRs.
Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
Not me. Anyway, yeah, The Conscience of the King.
Very Shakespeare.
Very Shakespeare. That's
It
why.
Much
made me wanna
Shakespeare.
made me want to watch Christopher Plummer in Star Trek 6.
Yeah, it made me want to watch like more TNG.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there's a lot of
Yeah. You got Sir Patrick Stewart there, who is
Oh yeah.
Shakespearean actor before he was on TV. So
Oh man.
he brought some. People talk about how much he brings into TNG, and then like so much of it they explicitly especially in later seasons they were just like, we can do some Shakespeare shit in this episode, right?
yeah. Let's do a
sure.
scene out of The Tempest in the beginning of this one for some reason.
Yeah.
And
Right.
let Picard just fucking talk about what the Tempest means to him and what the character's motivations are. Just let him. Let Stewart get up there and talk about Shakespeare a little bit. We've all hit our stride. People are down with what we're doing. Let him talk about Shakespeare for a while. I love that Picard is an archaeologist, like at heart.
Oh yeah.
Somehow those two things feel related to me. His interest in Shakespeare.
And like history and stuff. Well, I mean, when we think about it, by the time like TNG takes place, Shakespeare is like 800 or 900 years in
It's
the
like
past.
it's cave paintings.
That's so old. I mean, have you guys ever tried to read Beowulf, like the original language, like?
Oh yeah. I read that in high school. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
saw
but
the
like-
CGI movie with Crispin Glover.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. But it's because it is probably about 1,000 years old or so,
Yeah.
or 800 years old, 900 years old. It's about in that range.
Something like that.
So, like, you can see it. You can find it public domain versions, and there are versions where people have sort of like translated it into modern English,
Sure.
and then you can see the actual old English version.
Yeah.
It is like reading another language. It's
You
like a
ever-
language. But the funny thing is like you can kind of, if somebody who knows Old English reads it aloud, you can kind of understand about half of it. Like somebody is speaking with like a super heavy accent English and throwing in a lot of words that you'd never heard before.
Yeah.
Like a real heavy regional accent.
Or bizarre spellings of words that are so different you wouldn't even recognize them.
Right, exactly. That too.
all those things, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what Shakespeare is like to people in TNG. It must be like,
Yeah.
because that's
Crazy way of talking and expressing yourself.
yeah, it is. And even nowadays, most people, a lot of
Yeah.
people, if you read Shakespeare and then they look at it, they're like, "What the hell is happening?" And but if you watch it, even modern audiences, for the most part, like especially if it's like actually acted with people like acting out the scenes and stuff, they're like, "Oh, I pretty much get what's happening here." You might not get like every single reference or anything, but like you can see what's going on.
Sure. Yes.
People watch Baz Luhrmann's, Romeo and Juliet, for instance, and
yeah.
they're like they're not confused about what's happening. Like it's pretty obvious what people are doing and what they're saying, and what everything means.
Yeah, a guy's biting his thumb, but not at you.
Oh yeah. I was about to throw that one back.
Just-
Yeah,
I don't know what it
That's-
is about that like first scene. That movie
That's the
starts with
funniest thing
such a
you've ever
bang.
shown me.
It's just
Yeah.
so that there's the first like 10 minutes of that movie is just an assault on the
It is.
viewer.
It is. It's an assault
Like-
on that's a Baz Luhrmann movie, man.
Oh yeah. What else? What other
Jamie
movies did he make?
Kennedy.
Moulin Rouge.
Oh, well, that short tracks. Okay, yeah.
He made
Oh.
other musicals too. He loves musicals.
Okay. Funny guy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Sunscreen.
but I really did like his Romeo and Juliet.
It's an insanely it's incredible and insane, and I don't know if people know how
he
insane
did
it
the
is.
Great Gatsby. Yeah, he did the
Okay, yeah.
Great Gatsby. Oh, he did the
He did The Great Gatsby.
yeah. He did the
Dude, that was so good.
he did the recent Elvis movie with Austin Butler in it.
Mm-hmm. All right, that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That Romeo and Juliet movie is, I don't know if enough people know about that movie or
Yeah.
that version of that story.
Yeah, 1996.
Insane.
Romeo-
An insane time to be making a Romeo and Juliet movie.
Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes.
Agreed.
Oh my
And
god. Oh my god.
John Leguizamo.
Oh my god.
The best
John
I've
Leguizamo.
ever seen in my life. Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd is Paris.
Harold Perrineau
Yeah.
from Lost.
Yeah. Paul Sorvino as the
Oh.
elder Capulet.
Oh, I don't know if I recall who Paul Sorvino is.
He's in The Sopranos and
Okay.
like a bunch of like gangster stuff.
But yeah,
He's
motherfucking all-star cast on that
Fellas.
motherfucker.
Oh wait, no,
For sure.
sorry, I don't think he was in The Sopranos. Was he?
Okay.
He was in Goodfellas. He was in Goodfellas.
Right on.
Anyway, yes,
John,
That
like
was
one of I guess there are 3 movies
yeah.
that have perfect John Leguizamo performances in them. The other 2 being Super Mario Brothers and Spawn, of course.
And Don't Be a Pest.
I've never
Did
seen
you
that one.
guys-
Oh, it's The Pest, right?
Did you guys ever
Oh wait, that's Don't Be a Menace.
watch-
I mixed them up.
Yeah. Did you guys ever watch the old like 1960s Romeo and Juliet?
Oh yeah,
Um,
no, I was telling someone
and-
they showed that to us in high school, and
Yeah,
there's like
and
full
the-
frontal nudity in it, and
Oh,
the class
yeah.
freaked out.
There's
Oh man.
there's a minute where like after they Romeo and Juliet get married, they get out of bed together, and
I
you
feel
see-
like our teacher didn't expect this to happen. When this
You see-
happened in our class, it was like a riot.
It was a riot.
Sorry,
People
I
are
don't mean to
throwing
interrupt you,
chairs.
but yeah.
Oh, I think I'm trying to remember how it went down in my class because my teacher was this guy, Mr. Percivali.
Oh sure, I remember him. Yeah,
I think he knew what was coming because he'd seen this movie before,
Sure.
and
He would've,
was
that
like
guy
ready,
would've.
he was like ready to like fast forward. He's like, sorry,
Okay.
we're gonna fast forward this part.
all right, Mr. Percival. Yeah,
I mean, he was straight up about it. He's
Yeah.
like, there's some
like,
nakedness here. I'm
like
not allowed to
really,
show
like
that.
like
We're
a
gonna fast
minute
forward
of
this
it.
part.
It's like a Friday the 13th movie.
Yeah,
So yes, I have seen that version of it. It's also like 3 hours long.
it's the full, yeah, it's the full, yeah.
When I took Shakespeare in high school, we got the Kenneth Branagh version.
Kenneth Branagh. What year?
That was
Probably.
sometime in like it was like late 80s, early 90s, like almost like I remember the filming kind of looking very Princess Bridey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boy, there's a lot of Shakespeare adaptations. Remember when
Oh yeah.
Callista Flockhart was in a Midsummer Night's Dream?
Yes. Oh
I-
man,
A Midsummer Night's Dream
I've-
is my favorite.
I've
by the
actually
way.
gone and I've like actually made it a point and gone and seen a lot of like live Shakespeare too in my life. I've seen Denzel
Mm-hmm.
Washington in Julius Caesar playing Brutus.
Oh, I saw that one
Wow,
scene that he
okay.
did.
Yeah, all right.
Cool.
That was brutal. I
Um,
loved it.
I saw. I took a college course in like a semester in London, and that was just like a
Oh,
full
wow.
Shakespeare course. So we saw like 6 different Shakespeare plays, and then read it and talked about it. And it was cool because my teacher at the time was like, he's like, don't read it before you go see the play. He's like,
Yeah.
there's no point in doing that. There's no point in just like reading it. He's like, these are plays. They're meant to be watched.
Yep.
They're meant to be like a whole thing. So it's like go and watch them first, then go back and read them, and then we're going to talk about them and write your papers or whatever. So that was really cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, man, I love Shakespeare.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I went to the Shakespeare Theater in Chicago and saw Much Ado About Nothing. That was really fucking
Cool.
good.
Nice.
Oh, dude, I'm a fan. That's like probably one of my favorite plays. Mostly because in the Kenneth Branagh version, Keanu Reeves plays John the Bastard, and Keanu Reeves just plays it straight the entire time, just like stone face, like prick the entire time, and it's just completely like you wouldn't get it out of him out of him. What was this again? Like early '90s,
Sure.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it was really good though. It was Denzel Washington, what's his nugget from House that plays Wilson? The guy
I don't know.
I don't know about House.
or the dude from the Dead Poets Society that
Robin Williams.
that took his life. No, the one that took his life.
Oh,
Not Robin Williams.
Not
Well,
Robin Williams.
but no, the character who killed himself.
The character.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. I know who you mean. I'm blanking.
I can't. I'm blanking on his name right now. But he's awesome. God, what else was there? Yeah, and then I also saw I think it was was it Elizabeth Taylor version of Taming of the Shrew? Or who was in that?
Oh, that sounds smart. That sounds like a good casting.
It was very interesting.
Oh
She
man.
again, I don't remember the characters, but she played the quote unquote shrew character, I guess.
Yeah, Kate, I think.
Kate, yeah, okay, yeah. Again, it's been a long time since I read any of that.
Yeah.
Someone.
Tammy the Shrew.
That's
What
awesome.
was it? 10 Things I Hate About You or something like that.
Yes.
Yep, same thing.
That's Tammy the Shrew. Just
Yeah.
21st
Just with
century.
Heath Ledger.
Yeah, in 2000s high school.
And Julia Stiles.
Yeah, Julia
That's
Stiles.
her name. I
And
was just about to
Eugene
ask.
Levy, right? I think.
Yeah, did Julia Stiles get out of acting?
I don't recall seeing her in anything for quite some time. I think, but I don't really know.
I feel like she's been for a minute. Like I don't think I've actually seen her in anything for a while. Yeah.
I think someone creeping by my open window is farting.
What?
There's a
Sure.
farty springtime smell wafting in through the window.
Sure, it's not just your cats.
They could be them. They sometimes fart.
It's the snooping squeaker.
Oh no, I mean, I look at her Julia Stiles on IMDb. She's in a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
Oh, she's still doing things. That's great.
Just not stuff I've seen. Whatever. I guess she was in Silver Linings Playbook.
Oh, okay.
I guess she was in. Oh, that's right. They brought her back for that Jason Bourne movie where they brought Matt Damon back, just called Jason Bourne, and then they killed her.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I remember that. And then, she was in Hustlers, that movie with J-Lo.
Is that the one where the strippers take the guy's money and run or something like that? It's like a heist movie, something like that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But I guess they steal a bunch of money from some finance bros.
Some John or something like that. Yeah.
Finance bros. Not far below Nazis. I want people who it's okay to steal money from. And mess up.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, that's not cool to compare anybody to Nazis.
But it is cool to steal money from finance bros.
Yeah, that's acceptable. That's on the moral scale of acceptable thievery. That's near the good side, especially if you like, cool looking strippers with hearts of gold.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Let me this is what I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
If we shadows have offended, think but this, and all is mended, that you have but slumbered here, whilst these visions did appear. In this weak yet idle theme, no more yielding or seeming
No
than
more
a
seeming.
dream. No more seeming than a dream.
I think so.
Well, I almost had it.
You
I
pulled
suppose
up
I could have pulled it up.
I was when I read earlier, I was reading from a page.
Yeah, I never. Yeah,
I would say we can recut it. It's cool.
yeah. I mean, maybe I probably won't. I'll probably just leave it like that because that's funny. You know, I mean, that's on brand. I think. You know.
Yeah, it is funny and on brand.
That's-
I like to make it. Did either of you? That's not the one that I was told to learn. But did either of you have a class in high school where they made you like memorize a monologue? The one I memorized was much longer than that.
I don't remember if I had to memorize, probably, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was kind of like a goth kid in high school, so like I think I probably went for something in Hamlet, if anything. I don't remember what it was.
I
Yeah.
did
Julius Caesar or some shit.
yeah, I did Cry Havoc and stuff, which I know. Yeah, I don't. Oh, pardon me, thou bleeding piece of earth, that I am meek and gentle with these butchers.
Yeah.
I don't think I know much past that, but it ends with Cry Havoc. So I
Yeah.
had to, whatever's in between that is what I memorized. And in my class,
Mothers
we went
shall
into like,
smile as they see their children quartered by the hands of war.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
So they
I
brought
remember
us.
that line too.
They brought
Yeah.
us into the stairwell, and they had the person reciting stand at the top of the stairs, and the class was at the bottom. So we would like orate or echo or whatever. It was fun.
Which is funny because there was actually an auditorium in our high school,
Yeah, we weren't allowed to go
Which
use
they-
it.
which they presumably could have been able to use. I guess maybe it was occupied, but I don't
Yeah,
remember that
no,
auditorium being occupied like at all hours of the day or something. I remember it being empty most of the time.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Yeah,
Like
Who
there
knows?
wasn't like a drama class. There was drama. Oh, I guess band would have been using the auditorium, huh?
yeah, all day long. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe not all day
There
long.
was a
but
band room, but I don't know what went on in the music wing or where the audit. Yeah, I only know what went on in the auditorium when we were doing drama club.
Dude, is that a very 90s trope to have like all the band kids who are off by themselves in their own clique? Because that really was a thing.
Absolutely
that was a
was.
thing.
No, it
No, yeah, the
absolutely
choir
was.
kids hung out with the choir kids.
That
Oh,
was
yeah.
it was a thing at least in our high school.
No, yeah, they were
Yeah,
like a
wait.
whole. Yeah, it was
Because it was
almost
like-
a separate school.
Yeah, because they were like, and I mean, you know what it was, because it was like when I think about it now in retrospect, because it was like 40 or 50 of them or something like that. So it was like enough people to be their own like sort of community off to their own.
Yep.
It wasn't just like 5 people or 10 people. It
But
was
they
like
had shit. They were together after school every day,
Yeah,
every
for
weekend,
hours.
and like not even like a sports team that has a season. They were whenever we were in school, the band was practicing to support the sports team or to be in the play or to back up whatever other fucking. So they were always together.
or just to play music basically. Yeah,
Mhm.
just to be there to play music, to be the school band.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they were
Yeah.
definitely their own clique, and not to say they didn't like occasionally like hang out or talk, but like yeah, definitely all the band kids had their own thing going on.
Let's see. When I was in high school, it was like so like I went into high school with like I used to do show choir and stuff like that, and I kind of phased out of it because a lot of the high school choir kids already knew how to read sheet music, and they didn't teach us that in middle school.
Ooh.
And so I wasn't able to catch up quick enough, so I ended up dropping off of it. And it turned out that I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll try like drama instead. It turns out most of the drama department is in the fucking musical department, and all they do is fucking musicals.
Oh yeah.
Oh sure.
So
I wanted to be in dramas when I was in high school too. At a certain point, and they put on 2 plays a year, one theater play and one musical.
it was musicals all the flipping time in my town, dude.
At least I got one chance to be in someplace. I got a speaking role in Our Town as a dead person in the back.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
I was the background stage chorus for a middle school rendition of Fame.
Of Fame?
Fame, dude. The most censored version ever. Forever, I'm gonna learn how to fly.
Wow. Wow.
Dude,
I don't know why I know
dude.
that song. Probably because I grew up in the 80s.
Yeah.
And God, what was it like? Oh my goodness, there was just so much wrong with the way that we did the rendition of this play.
Yeah, of course, in middle school, of course.
Well, considering the all white cast and replacing the black members of the original cast with white kids.
Oh yeah, that too.
And having to do inflections in their voices in particular ways.
A little weird.
It was very awkward. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh, dude, it was painful.
She'll receive the best of care, Jim. She remembers nothing. Even thinks her father's still alive, giving performances or cheering crowd. Really cared for her, didn't you? Need to leave Benicio orbit, Captain.
Stand by, Mr. Leslie. All channels clear to Uhura?
All channels clear, sir.
Whenever you're ready, Mr. Leslie.
Giving orbit, sir.
Not going to answer my question.
Ahead, warp factor 1, Mr. Leslie.
I think it's a really interesting one because none of that really had to happen on a spaceship.
No.
Like that story could have, that's a story that could have taken place in, on Earth. In
Yeah.
1990.
I like it though. It's a serious premise, but it's a fun story, They've got this serious thing that's happened back in the day, and people are dying and all that. It's a scary, real problem, but as presented, it's presented a little bit more, a little bit less seriously. Like it doesn't feel as dangerous for Kirk in that. Like it's just
Sure.
some silly actors being silly,
Yeah, and the dramatic aspect of the actors is, to use the same word again, very silly. Very over the top.
Yes.
The scene where he's confronting Caridian, I liked a lot. It was very entertaining because of how tersely Shakespearean and dramatic it was.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because you kind of know the whole time. Like from the very beginning, you know that this guy is the murderer they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's almost just an excuse to be really dramatic.
I like that we're still able to watch the investigation to prove it, though, happen simultaneously. Like Kirk is confident. He knows who the guy is. He's still not willing to necessarily act on it because he doesn't have proof. But he's like,
he
nah,
needs
I know
some kind of evidence. But he's
And you got Spock in the background being like, okay, so some shit's up, and he's doing that evidence hunting for Kirk, so we get to see both sides of the investigation. Where it's like,
yeah. Spock knows that Kirk is up to... Spock knows that Kirk knows, but he doesn't know what Kirk knows. So Spock's investigation is into why Kirk is acting so weird about this fucking actor.
Yeah.
Which is also a lot of fun. The Kirk and Spock back and forth is a lot of fun. Bones is a lot of
Spock
fun in this
McCoy
episode.
one, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like to a degree too, it's really starting to show in the show that the actors are know each other and are more comfortable with each other versus at the start of the show, right? Like it's there, you can see that in how even the characters are playing together, right? Like there's just more relaxed between them, so that's nice too.
Yeah, we're starting to hit a stride.
Yeah, the guys know what they're doing. They know who their character is, and they've gotten comfortable with the relationships that their characters got on the set and being able to play with that some too. I like it. It's a solid episode from start to finish. Like
It was a solid one. Yeah, it had tension. It had drama. It had overacting. It had a phaser beam.
We always love a good phaser beam.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
really, like if that was a pistol and the stage was a stage like in Brooklyn somewhere and that was a story that took place in the 70s about some war criminal from the 40s.
Yeah, I'd believe it.
Yeah, it really there's no aliens in this one. Is kind of what I'm saying. There's no it's just something. It's just a little mystery that happens on the Enterprise.
The closest we've got to sci-fi is
tight.
the phaser overheating.
Oh yes, that's right. Yes,
That is the closest
really
we've got to,
a funny place to hide an overheating phaser.
Yeah.
Maybe the person who hit it didn't understand that was the emergency light that would come on when he ordered the red alert, and then immediately see the silhouette of the overloading phaser.
Well, it's only because he looked up at it, right? Like he still didn't see it for quite some time.
Maybe, spoilers, she didn't have the heart to kill him.
Maybe. I mean, she did seem to be really into the flirting that the two of them were doing with their crazy 14-year
They were
age
intensely
gap.
flirting, but she's also, she has got a boner for murder. This girl
really-
loves murdering.
Yeah, no,
She's
she's really
crazy about it. It's her favorite.
her status on Memory Alpha is just insane, institutionalized. Like they usually say like dead, in prison, stuff like that. Hers is insane, institutionalized.
So Kirk's friend calls him up and invites him to go see a play. It's Macbeth, and Kirk's friend wears a Phantom of the Opera mask on half of his face.
It's I think it's their version of a prosthetic to cover his injuries from whatever happened at some point.
Well, he was there. Did he survive? What's the planet where the murder of 4,000 people occurred? Tarsus 4.
Tarsus, that's it.
He might have survived Tarsus 4. It's not really. We don't
He
really
was
get.
he was one of the witnesses, so they don't say whether he. Yeah, they don't say if he was one of the ones who was being. Like they don't say if he was somebody who was successful in not being attempted murder, or if he was an attempted murderer that escaped. You know.
We don't find this out yet, but Tom, Kirk, and our friend Riley, the Irish King, they are the last 3 of 9 eyewitnesses to the murderer Kodos. Kodos, the executioner, who 20 years ago murdered 4,000 people. During a famine on some colony somewhere.
So
A
the
very
colony
bad
was
war criminal is Macbeth.
the colony
is the
was
actor.
Tarsus 4.
Yes.
And there was a fungus that came through, causing famine. And
Of
because
course,
of his
a fungus.
eugenics and his trying to survive, save everyone that he could, the people who he deemed worthy, he killed.
Like Thanos. He did a Thanos.
He did a Thanos, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
he didn't do a Hitler. He did a Thanos.
That's bad, for the record.
It is still bad. I'm not saying it's good, no. But that the distinction is still that the kind of eugenics he did was the Thanos eugenics, not the Hitler eugenics. Still evil. Don't eugenics.
I'm pretty sure they will say there are people that will tell you that Thanos was right and will argue with you.
There are plenty of them on the
There
internet.
are people.
Since-
Okay, I wasn't sure, but I'll take your word for it. There are. Yeah,
I have
It seems like
seen
there
stuff.
are. It seems
Yeah.
like there would be those people.
But yeah, so he killed 4,000 people so that the other 4,000 people could survive. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure where. I don't remember the guy's name, but I don't. The Phantom dude. I don't know if he was in the 4,000 meant to die and he didn't die for whatever reason, or if he was in the 4,000 meant to survive and was injured otherwise. You know?
You ever see The Mist?
No.
Okay, well, right after the 4,000 people are killed, a ship shows up full of food.
Mm.
What a dick.
Yeah. Well, like he says at
What
the
a
end.
stupid
What
asshole.
if that ship hadn't shown up? If that ship hadn't shown up, he'd have been hailed a hero for saving everyone.
No.
No, I think he'd still been an asshole.
No one
I
says
mean,
that
but
about Thanos.
no one says that about anyone who does massive murders like this. Massive murder is bad. I don't
It
care.
is known.
It is a mean thing to do. Don't murder anyone. Not even like large numbers. Just don't murder. Murdering is bad.
So there is no reveal. I mean, we know this immediately that this man playing Macbeth, Anton Caridian, is in fact Kodos from 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk goes into the computer and he says, "Show me a photo of Caridian. Now show me a photo of Kodos." And they're the same man.
Yeah.
So we know immediately. But Kirk's being cagey about it, especially because Tom, his friend, is killed almost immediately. Tom says that he's invited the actors over for some reason, because Tom knows it's Kodos. They come over and Lenore kills him. We don't know yet. The viewers don't know that Lenore is the murderer. We haven't talked about Lenore. Kirk meets Lenore.
Lenore is Caridian's daughter, and
19 years of age.
She immediately
Traveling
is like
space, doing actings.
and she's immediately into Kirk. Like, oh, it's nice to meet you, Kirk. Let's bone. Like levels of immediately into him.
Yes, and Kirk seems immediately into her. And there's...
And again, 14 years, guys. Like, this is way too big of an age gap for this
Kirk
kind of
is
behavior.
33. The youngest... 33-year-old men are pretty dumb. And... yeah, in the 60s, I think people were a lot grosser. Boy, should I cut that out? Is that not something I should say?
I think you should cut that out, yes. I think that's a little bit too mean. I
But
really do.
like, is it my idea
Leaving
of
it
Hollywood,
in.
or is it my idea of the 60s that, like...
I would, if I could, my suggestion would be replace 60s with Hollywood.
Okay.
Be the same line, but replace 60s with Hollywood. Hollywood is gross.
But Kirk is they're intensely flirting in like 3 full scenes together. Although Kirk is trying to figure out if her father's a murderer, and she is gonna murder Kirk. Like,
Yeah, she's just waiting.
she might
biding
not
her
know
time.
it. She might not know it immediately, but she's gonna. She tries to kill Riley.
With the spray bottle.
So this is a really interesting. There's some real layered
And honestly,
flirting going on between these two.
The quote-unquote twist, too, comes out of nowhere, because, like, it comes off... She's born after the events of Tarsus 4. She's...
Yep.
She's not... Like, she could easily just have not had any clue about what happened there, and then be an innocent bystander in the whole thing. Instead, she's this crazy person who's out trying to murder everyone herself. Like, it's got a lot of really good twists in it for... It doesn't feel like the kind of thing that would, you know? Like, it's just the type of show in the era. It doesn't feel like it should have that kind of... really well done plot twist, and it does.
There's a lot of backs and forths, which make it interesting because we kind of don't understand fully how layered everything is until the end. You know, there's even like, you know, we're also with Spock trying to figure out what Kirk is up to, and I love it when Spock goes in and he's like, I think it's weird that Kirk wants to pick up these actors and fly around with them, and Bones, first of all, the first thing Bones is saying in this scene is, Spock, you should have a drink with me. You never get drunk. But then he says, did you see that Lenore girl? You know that Kirk is glands. You know Kirk is just thinking with his glands like I would. Bones is halfway in the goddamn bag in this scene.
Yeah, he just keeps going.
And he's like, no, this is fine. Kirk's trying to fuck. That guy's just an actor. Don't worry about it, Spock. It's a good thing Spock doesn't get drunk and stop worrying about it. But yeah, and that scene is followed by the scene where I wrote down actually in capital letters, intense flirting.
Yeah.
And by now they know. By now Kirk is trying to figure out what's going on with her, and she's figuring out how she can murder Kirk.
With an exploding phaser.
It's really cool, actually, to like... This is one of those things, pieces of narrative that has such a good reveal that watching it a second time with the pretense of whenever we see this girl, she's planning on how to murder this dude she's intensely flirting with, really adds an interesting, and of course we've spoiled it entirely at this point, but that does add an interesting layer.
It does. No, it's a solidly written episode. It's honestly, I think the writing in this episode is the best one we've had yet. I really do think that, like, overall, like, it might not be the best episode. I think this has got the best writing, though.
It's very layered, it's very interwoven, and the writing is very good. It's very well thought out, it's very well planned and paced. Yeah. And it has another Uhura song, the second Uhura song?
I think so.
Yeah. I wonder if there will be more.
Beautiful voice, hey?
Incredible.
Every time.
This one is a little less silly than
but
Spock, the female astronaut killer.
That's because they have to imply that the two of them might hook up eventually. Anyways, no,
I feel like that has cooled off lately. We haven't seen any tension between Uhura and Spock in the past couple.
They've not really been interacting much on screen, though, the last few episodes.
It might have been something and again, we don't know exactly what the intended order was. I mean, we could know, but we're not watching it that way. It could be that is something that they started working on later, and it could also be something they put it in the beginning when they were trying to throw out different ways for the crew to interact.
Yeah.
We might see it again. I don't know. It might just not be as common as the whole Kirk and Spock dynamic, and Spock always making his sassy, frowny faces at everything Kirk says,
Oh man, they tried to do that so much with T'Pol too, and on Enterprise.
Oh, do T'Pol and Archer do a lot of eyeing and eyebrow raising at each other?
I think she does it more with, if I remember what little of it I've seen, I think she did it more with Trip.
Okay.
Where
Trip is the blonde guy?
He was the Riker stated.
Yeah.
He's the one who got the third nipple because he got pregnant.
Yes, he did get a third nipple.
Yeah, that's one of the few storylines I vaguely remember from that series, by the way, is him getting pregnant with a third nipple. But on his forearm, like the inside of his arm, of all places. Yeah. But anyways, what...
He gets pregnant in the arm.
He does. What I vaguely remember of the show, I think T'Pol spent a fair amount of it giving him, like, the side eye of, like, dude, seriously?
I feel like there's a scene in, like, the first episode where the two of them have to, like, shower together. And it's obvious
the decon
they're going to be doing a lot
whatever.
Of tension. Yeah. Some kind of
That show was weird.
Jelly shower.
I think it's going to be good to get to it because, like, frankly, I should. But also, that show was weird, man.
It was really 2000s. Was it like the WB or something that had a lot of, like, really sexy kind of shows going on? I
think it was a CW, but I don't know if that was around back then.
They tried to it was on a network with a lot of other primetime sexy shows. Yeah, and they tried to make it sexy. And I remember seeing that shower scene. Yeah, obviously trying to be very sexy, but it really obviously was pushing like tension between T'Pol and Trip. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That wasn't a believable pairing, and they kept trying to make it look like it might be a pairing, But she just always looked like she was either constipated or fed up, or both, with him, so... At least from what I saw of it.
She doesn't like the way that people smell.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Canonically, I mean, I don't know if that show was the first time this kind of thing got mentioned, but I think they say something about a lot of Vulcans having a problem with the way human ships smell. But T'Pol in particular, canonically, does not like the smell of humans.
You know what? I can get that. Humans are stinky. Like, I am one, and I don't like the way most humans smell. And the way that a lot of humans try to cover their stank is just also not good.
Right, with perfumes and things.
Well, I was one of the lucky ones who grew up in the age of teenage boys with Axe.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, high school was not... You couldn't breathe in those hallways, man.
Or it just smelled like air freshener?
Not even. Axe back then didn't smell like air freshener. It just smelled weird. And like with air freshener, it smells like a chemical, but you can usually tell what the underlying scent is. I never found that I could do that with Axe.
Well,
It was
the
just
Axe
chemical.
smells were like Mountain Rage and like
Yeah.
Primal Serenity and like Furious Aardvarks or whatever. That was.
And don't get me wrong, like I like the scent of some of the Axe stuff.
Glacier
Like
Explosion.
my current body wash is Axe. I like Axe. It's just
What
that
flavor?
I think it's Phoenix that we've got.
Okay,
I don't know.
I don't know anyone living on Earth that can tell you what a Phoenix smells like.
I have no idea, but no.
Oh,
like,
maybe does it smell like Phoenix, Arizona?
I don't know. I've never been to Arizona.
I can't imagine it smells good. It's extremely hot.
I can't imagine it smells good either. But no, it was free like body wash we got in one of our stockings one year at Christmas, and I've just kind of stolen it because like I wanted body wash.
Does it smell
Like,
good?
It's one of the better ones that I've smelled, but it's not like it's nothing special. It's man scent. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, yes, I do.
Yeah. It's something that has been designed to smell like men, but not gross men.
Do you think I should go? Do you think I should go take a peek at what flavor my deodorant is and tell you? I'm sure it's something completely insane.
I mean, I use Old Spice, so like
I got Old Spice. What do you know? What flavor you have?
we have two of them right now. We've got the original ones because they're 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 deodorant, not antiperspirant.
Yeah.
But I find that they don't last long enough, so I picked up the I think it's called Dragon Blast, which is one of the
Blast. Yes.
It is one of the antiperspirant ones, which I prefer. I prefer those because I just feel like they last longer. You know.
I think mine is like Kraken Attack or something. Like it's
Nice.
It's insane. Like what the fuck?
I don't know, but like. I don't know. I don't mind man scent. It's what it was, especially back in high school. Was like you've got a bunch of kids who've never had to monitor how stinky they're being, and so they're dousing themselves in
just
man scent and
also just no shower
Yeah.
once a week and deodorant every morning.
it's just and then
just so you're just covering it up.
there's
over and
Axe
over.
body spray
Layers.
and Axe shampoo and Axe body shower gel stuff and like it's all of it as much as they could possibly cover themselves in, and it's like this is too much.
High school is absolute hell. For a
I'm so
variety of
glad I'm not a
reasons.
student anymore. I'm sorry to whoever is.
Yeah, it's bad.
But anyway, so yeah, no, overall, decent show, decent episode. I like the story on it. I think it's well done. I like the people. I'm pleased that we got to see Riley again, even though it was only one more the only other time we ever get to see him. Like I do like the character, so Riley's fun.
Yeah, and this is the last time we see him, but it's cool to get we see him a couple times in the early show, and
it's nice because they aren't just coming up with new background characters every episode, but like bringing back some people that we've met before. Like I like that they chose that. Because these kind of show it's so easy to just be like, nope, new no name dude every episode because no one's gonna know who it is, right? So
which is often what they do.
Yeah. So it's nice to see them bring back someone who we actually know and who we actually care about, you know?
So so Riley overhears Dr. McCoy making his log, and McCoy is talking about how this guy Caridian is suspected of being Kodos. Riley, as we discussed earlier, we didn't discuss that his parents had been killed, but he was one of the final 3 eyewitnesses to what Kodos looks like. And so when he hears that Kodos is on the ship, he sneaks off, breaks into the weapons locker or whatever, and we're gonna do the play anyway. Everyone, Kodos has been accused by Kirk. His daughter Lenore is all confused and mixed up with Kirk. Spock doesn't know what Kirk's motivations are. No one knows what's going on. Let's have a play. And Riley's in the wings with a fucking phaser, ready to murder Anton Caridimer. And wow.
Would you like me to take over?
I was about to get to the point where Lenore reveals that she's the murderer.
In the wings with his phaser ready to murder Caridian. Yeah, like you just said, like Kirk starts up trying to stop him, and as he's getting Riley settled, Lenore and Caridian and Kirk are chatting about what the fuck is going on totally. And Lenore gives it away. Is like, no, Dad, I've been doing this. I've been murdering these people to protect you, to save you, to keep you safe. Because what if it gets found out that you are this former murderer? And it's okay, everything's fine, everything's great. I'm doing this for us.
I'm doing these murders, and he basically confesses right in earshot of Kirk.
Yeah, but I mean, it's clearly it's a confession of no, seriously, kid. Like, I did this so you didn't have to.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Really turned out piss for everyone.
Yeah, and
which is great, which I love.
yeah, no, it was fantastic. And then a bit of a scuffle ensues from there, and she accidentally shoots him, if I remember correctly, with the phaser. She kills her dad.
Shooting at Kirk.
Yeah, but just obviously not someone who's used to using a phaser.
And then she says every dramatic line about death from Shakespeare. Or at least 5.
Yeah, no, she has a bit of a monologue, and yeah, episode is over. Kirk and finds out from McCoy in the the denouement that she's been taken away to an asylum because she needs to be helped, and they can't do it, obviously.
And there she remains to this day.
Yeah, there's nothing more about her on Memory Alpha. The last thing is her being sent away.
9.
You know what? I feel 8.5 to a 9 definitely fits. I'm going to give it an 8.5. I'm a little hesitant to go all the way to a 9.
Okay.
But definitely, it's solid. It's been a good episode. It's just consistent. It's consistently good.
Right. I think I was really impressed with the pacing of this one. We've talked about a lot of them being very slow, and like this was really like, here's this. I almost expected it to be slow because they like told us everything right away, but they didn't.
Yeah,
they told us a big important thing right away, but then there was plenty of more stuff going on.
Yeah, I felt like it was going to be just a bit of a slog to get through to the resolution. Like, we already know what's happening. Yeah. We're just waiting for them to catch up.
Which some episodes are like that.
This one, not so much. They spoil everything right at the gate, and it's still entertaining because they keep you on edge with the tension about what's going to happen to Kirk and Riley the whole time, right? So that they make up for us knowing the twist-ish by just making us not know when is it going to happen, right?
I also expected that the old man was doing the murders. I did not expect it was Lenore.
No,
so good job.
Agree.
Yeah, good. So yeah. So they really didn't. They didn't reveal it in the beginning. They revealed one of the big parts of it, a major component. Yeah. But there were many components, and that's cool. Layers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, just well done in general. Just well done.
Yeah, I like this one.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Anything else?
I'm just trying to see if Barry Trivers has written anything else because I'm curious now. It looks like this might be his only Star Trek episode ever.
Interesting.
Which is unfortunate because he's good, and we're not going to get to see more of it.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good job, Mr. Trivers. That was a well-written.
This is one of the last things he did.
Oh, an old guy.
Yeah, he died in 81.
Oh my!
At 74. Okay. So his last writing credit was in 76 on Kojak.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. He was solid. No, he had a very long and busy career though, so like he started writing in the 30s.
Hello. Yes. Okay. Hi. Thank you for listening to The Least Ready Room. That was The Conscience of the King. The question of the week this upcoming week is what is your favorite backdoor adaptation? And what I mean by that is, I guess I'm going to have to, when I type this out, it'll be more concise. What I mean by backdoor adaptation is something like, I had 3 examples. They were 10 Things I Hate About You, Over the Garden Wall, and Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And they're all kind of different. One of them is Shakespeare even, and one of them is open about what it's adapting. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Says, by the way, this is the Odyssey. Over the Garden Wall does not say explicitly that it is the Inferno. And I don't think it matters if we know whether 10 Things I Hate About You is an adaptation. Not that serious of a movie. I don't know. I haven't seen it since 1999 or something, so earlier than that? I don't remember what happened. Someday I'm going to write down. Someday I'm going to figure out what happened to us. So, yes, a backdoor adaptation. An adaptation that, like, fundamentally changes the setting, either modernizes it, probably rewrites the dialogue. I almost would call Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet a backdoor adaptation. Although, maybe not, because the dialogue is so exactly the same, even though it's... I'm pretty sure I made this term up, so who knows? It's a loose, wiggly term, like any other kind of language that comes out of my mouth. That's a little weird. I'm not sure what's weird about the sentence I just said, but it was weird. So, the question of the week last week had to do with Shakespeare, because, you know, this episode, obviously, is about Shakespeare. So, the question of the week for this episode is, what is your favorite Shakespearean performance or adaptation? A quote is fine too. And also, were you forced to memorize a passage in high school like me? And which one was it? And, yeah, we already talked to Chris about that. Maybe in the last... I feel like shit. I was supposed to open this episode with Chris's answer. That it was going to be like one of those to be continued ones, because she was one of the last recordings from last week. Boy, was that a week ago? This has been a long week. Anyway, I will end this one with the recording of Chris's answer. Good thing that I can think about things sometimes. What's up, everyone? Thank you for listening to The Least Ready Room. Thank you, Chris, for joining me on this nonsense. Thank you to Saint and Weebs and Thrash this time. And yeah, anyone else who is around and wants to talk about Star Trek, come meet us on Discord at koeadk.tv. So, here are some of the answers for that question of this week. Raven says, for Shakespeare, I am going to go basic and say the Baz Luhrmann production of Romeo and Juliet. It is quite authentic in dialogue, despite the setting being adapted to a kind of romanticized early 90s LA. I would like to see Throne of Blood someday. That's Kurosawa being inspired by Macbeth. Sounds like a backdoor adaptation. Not really an adaptation, though. Oh, maybe it's what I'm talking about. Also, saw a film of Comedy of Errors done as a Japanese kyogen, a kind of traditional slapstick comedy. I wasn't forced to memorize anything that I can recall, but I can sing Beasts of England from Animal Farm. Pete K says, for Shakespeare, I will have to say one of my favorite movies, The Chronicles of Riddick. Sometimes I read these questions and a question occurs to me and I'm like, well, I'm going to read it and I'll pursue it whenever, but I should look up what about the Chronicles of Riddickle. I should look up what Shakespeare inspired that. I don't know. I remember Necromongers. Anyway, continuing to read Pete's answer. I was definitely forced to memorize something, but alas... ... Poor Uric! I knew him, Horatio, a fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. He hath borne me on his back 1,000 times, and now how abhorred in my imagination it is. My gorge rises at it. Here hung those lips that I have kissed I know not how oft. All right, thanks, Pete. Iggy says, wasn't forced to memorize. I did some small parts, like one acts. I've generally found all the modern adaptations, such as Romeo and Juliet, laughably bad. There's so many countless parts of the stories that are classic tropes of storytelling that predate him / he probably stole it from others. That's the rumor. Toronto says, when I asked Cass about this, he pointed out that he has never read Titus Andronicus, but the movie Titus is excellent and one of his favorites. Locke says, agree that the Luhrmann version is fire. I thought the way it was adapted was so cool and well done. I love Shakespeare and how infinitely adaptable his works are. I once saw Avery Brooks play King Lear in a little theater stage set in the Olmec civilization, which was super cool. What the fuck? Yeah, that sounds like a backdoor adaptation. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. It's so, yeah, infinitely adaptable into other settings, time periods, modernized, blah, 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 blah. Continuing Locke's answer. One really special performance that I've seen is The Haziest Memory. When I was in middle school, I went to a performance of A Midsummer Night's Dream performed in a forest, in a circle around the audience, and the immersion was wonderful, especially as dusk came on. The lighting was really well done. That sounds fucking insane to me. Continuing Locke's answer. I think my favorite performance was actually the version of Macbeth done by Sleep No More in NYC, which I've seen at least a dozen times. Probably closer to 20. Wow! Raven says, oh yeah, for obscure local performances I've seen a few. Macbeth as a kind of Mad Max apocalypse punk, I'm coining that phrase, was awesome. Makes me think of that. Locke replies, great term, and yeah, that's exactly what I meant. Yeah, a Mad Max apocalypse punk. I was forced to memorize in middle school. It was an elective after-school thing I did with one other student, so nothing was forced. A bit from Julius Caesar, but had Act 5, Scene 5 from Macbeth tacked to my wall in high school, so is the one I know best now. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time, and all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle, life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Toronto says Chaos literally spouted that off from memory after mentioning the movie Titus. Saint likes Sleep No More and says, or maybe the Titus Andronicus, directed by Julie Taymor, with Anthony Hopkins and Jessica Lange. I saw that once. I think I was very drunk, and I think it really... That's set in a weird, semi-modern, weird, almost ancient setting. A really weird mixture. I don't know why. This is the memory that is coming to mind. I believe that while this movie was on, and I wasn't really watching, and I was drinking and playing Magic cards in a little room above a garage, and on another TV nearby, was there a game called Wipeout? Or Wipeout was the rocket ships. There was some game that the actual, I don't know if it was the objective, but you could get points by driving your car and causing a massive pile up. So the whole time I was watching Titus Andronicus, someone had basically finished a level or whatever, and the kind of sort of animation and maybe the camera kind of panning around of just a bunch of container trucks just piled up and burning on a highway, kind of just idling while watching Titus. That's my memory of Titus Andronicus. Bunch of video game trucks burning on a highway for 2 hours. Locke says Hamlet's rumination on whether what's after death is worse as an inducement not to self-terminate is metal as fuck. That's correct. Saint likes Richard 2 with Ian McKellen. No, Richard 3 with Ian McKellen. Yes. Weebs likes when Patrick Stewart gets on Sesame Street and does soliloquy on B. Get on YouTube and look that up if you're not on my Discord. It's incredible. Surreptitious Music says, I suppose my favorite Shakespeare performance was A Midsummer Night's Dream. I saw in a park, cast and produced entirely by homeschooled teens, including a friend of mine in about 2012 or so. Wow. I want to go see Midsummer Night's Dream outdoors. Continuing Surreptitious Music's answer, I don't think I memorized any Shakespeare in high school, but I did compose some music for Macbeth and conducted a woodwind quintet along with the performance. Good. Congratulations. That's fucking awesome. Yeah, and those are the answers, it looks like. So yeah, the answer this week, I will type it up and get it more concise, but yeah, wildly off, off what I don't know. I was gonna not say backdoor adaptation. I was gonna be like a wildly, even off the original isn't. I mean, unfaithful is not what I want to say. Just a complete switch up of either setting or dialogue or characters. I guess just an adaptation. Now I don't know. Now I've thought about it and talked about it too much. But I'll type it out on Discord. Get on my Discord to talk to us and be involved with this if you like. And talk to us about other TVs and movies and whatever the fuck video games and garbage, asshole pop culture bullshit we're talking about. It's late. It's Monday night. This is supposed to go out on Sunday. Maybe we'll be out on Thursday. Maybe this show will be out again next Sunday. Thank you so much to Chris and Saint and Weebs and Thrash and Midori and everyone who has been involved. So that's it. Yeah, that's it. Let's take it out. Let's roll it out. Let's go to space. Let's have space adventures. Let's get space drunk and smoke space weed on the spaceship. See ya next week.
Okay, because
Like,
if we're allowing readings, there's a movie completely unrelated to Shakespeare. It's a movie about a teacher having to work on a base with the base's rejects. If the rejects don't pass this course, they will fail out of the military. They have to have like a minimum grade level of their schooling and a minimum completion of schooling. Like it's basically like they have to get their GED or they like their high school diploma equivalency, or they can't be in the army, and they have to pass this course to get it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I think it starred Danny DeVito if I remember correctly, but it's been a while since I've seen it. I want to say it's like Renaissance Man. I think it's called something like that.
Okay.
I will Google it while I talk. But anyways, long story short, about 3/4 of the way through said movie, he takes his whole class to go see a performance of Shakespeare. And I want to say it was one of the Kings, and I don't remember which one, which is why I'm asking specifically your reading, because I can't tell you where it's from specifically. But the guy on stage is talking about once more into the breach we go, as he's getting like he's doing a rallying cry to his troops to go into battle. Mm-hmm. And I will never be able to remember the quote word for word, but what always stuck with me was it was done in a way to illuminate that these military recruits are girding themselves to go into that final battle of the exam and to face the rest of their lives head on, and like this change that they have gone through to go from being like scruffy little misfits that are you know flunking and fucking around into these proper, quote unquote proper, I should say, but like fully fledged grown up humans, and they've done this huge change, and now they've got this whole big world ahead of them, and they're about to go into it's like, you know, your standard graduation speech, but it's a Shakespeare quote, and the way it plays out feels like that, you know, and it always really stuck with me. So there's that one.
Okay. Yeah, performance. Yeah, your favorite Shakespeare performance, I think, is really
So there's that one, and then there's a sonnet read by Alan Rickman, and I can never remember which one it was. You know the one I'm talking about?
No, I don't. But I mean, just that sounds perfect.
Yeah,
Alan Rickman.
And it's a romantic sonnet, because of course it is. And it's talking about how he's in love with this woman, but this woman isn't your standard beautiful woman, right? It's this, her lips are okay, but they aren't super pretty, and her body's okay. Like, all that, like, it's like the standard nitpicky of like fair skin, bright red lips, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's all great. And she doesn't have that. But I love her anyways, and she's still perfect to me.
Great.
And I love
William Shatner does something like that.
he probably does. But like I love that kind of stuff a lot. And some of that's going to be Alan Rickman is a fantastic actor who I've always adored. The quote here, I've been able to find the actual sonnet really quickly. I'll read through it. My mistress's eyes are nothing like the sun. Coral is far more red than her lips red. If snow be white, why then her breasts are dun. If hairs be wires, black wires grow on her head. I've seen roses damasked red and white, but no such roses see I in her cheeks. And in some perfumes is there more delight than in the breath that from my mistress reeks. I love to hear her speak, yet well I know that music hath a far more pleasing sound. I grant I never saw a goddess go. My mistress, when she walks, treads on the ground. And yet, by heaven, I think my love is rare, as any she belied with false compare.
Great.
And I love it. I
Yeah.
love that there's this, because so many love poems are about raising this woman up as a god, like,
Yeah.
she's so gorgeous, she's so amazing, she's a perfect paragon in every way. It's like, and I love that this is like recognizing that no, not every woman's going to be that, but that doesn't make her any less perfect for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are my two.
Great
Those
answers.
are my favorite Shakespeare bits.